Mr. Secretary, our nation's students have been through a lot in the past few years, as you well know, and it's done a lot of harm to their learning, their mental health, their development. And as you are aware, the American Rescue Plan provided $122 billion under the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund to give our schools more resources to safely offer in-person instruction, address the academic, social, and emotional needs of students, and support evidence-based strategies to tackle learning loss and help students get back on track, particularly those disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. I know that over the past month, your staff has worked really hard to review the state implementation plans and help local school districts meet those requirements. Can you tell us what evidence-based practices you're seeing making the biggest difference in helping our students catch up?
I definitely can, and I can tell you from experience myself, Deputy Secretary Martin has been traveling the country too, seeing firsthand how the American Rescue Plan dollars are being used. The higher ed level as well, Undersecretary Kowal has seen many great examples. And I have to tell you, I'm proud of our educators, I'm proud of our students, I'm proud of our parents who have gone through such a disruption and are looking at our schools now as that sense of community that they lost, and students are thriving. Yes, they need help. It's not going to be a quick fix, but when I visit White Plains and I see that they focus on improved ventilations, which increase the confidence of the community to go back into the schools, I know that the money's being used well. I remember going to Oregon and seeing a summer program that was 3 times the size it was the previous time they held it because of the American Rescue Plan dollars. I've seen high quality, high dosage tutoring implemented in communities where students missed out on school for a long time, and they're catching these students up. You know, we talk a lot about mental health support, but without question, we must focus on the academic recovery of our students, the literacy, the numeracy, and school systems are providing extended school days, smaller class sizes, additional support teachers, better parent liaison strategies. I remember visiting a school, I think it was Nevada, where they hired an additional group of parent liaisons that went out into the community, those communities where the students were chronically absent or not engaged as much because of the impacts of the pandemic, and they got those families back into the school. Wraparound services. I'm seeing such good use of the American Rescue Plan dollars. We wouldn't be at 99% of our schools open full-time if it weren't for the American Rescue Plan. I'd be talking to you now about colleges closing, about students that we can't find if it weren't for the American Rescue Plan dollars. And I can tell you, Future Ed reported $30 billion going toward academic recovery and $26 billion going toward additional staff, which help academic and mental health. $3 billion a month is being used to support our students, and I'm thankful that we have that funds. Thank you for the support of them.
Yeah, I think that we're seeing a really diverse use of those needs across the country. And I think over the long term, it'd be very interesting to go back and see which ones really did help kids academically or mentally, and what made a real difference in their lives and getting back on track.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let me go to higher education again, and I'm talking more than tuition, fees, and books, because if we want to really help our students, none of them should be worried about where they're going to get their next meal, or how they're going to put a roof over their head, or how they're going to afford childcare or get mental health care, because those are barriers to them to be able to get a degree. Yet we know that 3 in 5 higher education students face housing or food insecurity, and 2 in 5 students drop out of college, do so because of financial pressures. And those are, of course, connected to mental health challenges as well. So significantly expanding federal student aid, including doubling the Pell Grant, is a big part of a solution to that. But so are programs that are specifically targeted at addressing those students' basic needs. I wanted to ask you how the department is using funds we provided that included both annually appropriated funding and COVID supplemental funding to meet students' basic needs, connecting students to other federal benefits like child tax credit or SNAP.
Yes. Some of the best stories from my visits are those students who have benefited from those funds. I remember talking to a gentleman who was in a 2-year program at a community college, and he was sharing all his progress. And he went back to school a little bit later in life. Later in the story, he shared he was homeless, and that the college provided him with meals, with help so that he could have a place to stay, so he's not sleeping in his car, and he can continue to get that degree. I was just floored by that. The $198 million for basic needs as part of the American Rescue Plan, I've seen examples of that working. I remember visiting Bergen Community College and announcing that and talking to a student who was able to continue her studies because there were childcare costs that were covered on campus.
Right.
So her twins could be cared for while she continues to get her degree. So those funds are being used to help folks change the trajectory not only of their life, but of their children's lives. And I've seen great examples of that. And any dollar that goes to that is used to help them stay in school, help them get better earning potential, help them take care of some of those basic needs that are critical.
Great, very good. Okay, thank you, Senator Blunt.